It was one of those bitterly cold evenings when the city looked beautiful but merciless. Snowflakes floated gently, covering the streets in a soft white blanket, but beneath that beauty was a cruel, biting cold. The city's rich were tucked in their warm cafes, while the poor huddled in shadows, unnoticed. On that frozen street, a barefoot girl no older than 10 wandered, her thin, tattered dress no match for the icy wind. She had no home, no shoes, and no family to keep her warm. But in her tiny arms, she clutched an old, faded blanket, the only possession between her and the merciless winter. As she passed by the glowing shop windows, her eyes fell upon a man sitting quietly on the sidewalk. His head was lowered, his hands stuffed into his coat, yet there was something unusual. He didn't seem like the other homeless people she often saw. His shoes, though dusty, were expensive. His coat was of fine fabric, and his face, though tired, carried the marks of a life once lived in comfort. Curious, and perhaps guided by her own gentle heart, she approached him slowly. "Sir," she whispered, her breath visible in the cold air, "you look so cold, please take my blanket." Her small hands extended the precious cloth towards him, trembling not from fear, but from the chill that had numbed her fingers. The man looked up, startled. His name was Adrian Cole, the CEO of a large multinational company. His face was known in business magazines, his decisions made headlines. Yet today, none of that mattered. He had left his glass office, his luxury car, and wandered aimlessly until he found himself here, sitting alone, drowning in thoughts of loneliness, betrayal, and the emptiness of success without true connection. He had built empires, yet failed to build relationships. His wealth had multiplied, but his life had shrunk into cold numbers. Tonight, he wasn't a CEO. He was just a tired, broken man, sitting on a cold street, questioning the purpose of it all. And then came this barefoot angel, offering him her only blanket. For a moment, Adrian couldn't speak. He was ashamed. Ashamed that a little girl, who had nothing, could show more humanity than he had in years. Slowly, with hands unworthy of such kindness, he took the blanket. "Thank you," he managed to say, his voice cracking. "But you need this more than I do." The girl smiled, a soft, pure smile that held no bitterness. "I'm used to the cold, sir. But you look sad. Blankets help with the cold, but kindness helps with sadness." Her words, simple yet profound, pierced through the walls Adrian had built around his heart. "Where are your parents?" he asked gently. She shook her head. "I had a mother. She used to work in one of the big offices. But one day, they said she wasn't needed anymore. After that, things got harder. She got sick. She went to heaven last winter." The girl looked away, blinking back the pain, though her voice remained steady. "Since then, I take care of myself. People don't notice me much. But that's okay. I notice them." Adrian's heart sank. A knot tightened in his chest. Without even asking, he knew. Somewhere in the corporate chaos, in some cold-hearted decision, her mother's job had been taken away. Possibly by someone like him. Possibly, by him. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "It's okay," she replied softly. "Maybe now you'll notice when someone else is cold." In that moment, under the falling snow, Adrian Cole realized how blind he had been. His wealth had made him powerful, but also numb. He had chased success, ignoring the human cost. But this little girl, with nothing but a torn blanket, had taught him a lesson no boardroom ever could. He stood up, placing the blanket gently over her shoulders. "You're right. It's time I noticed." Taking out his phone, he made a call. Within minutes, his driver arrived, bewildered to find his boss standing on a snowy sidewalk, draping a homeless girl in a blanket. "Take us to the office," Adrian said firmly. That night, the city's biggest CEO walked barefoot into his own building, side by side with a little girl who had melted his frozen heart. He arranged a warm room, new clothes, and a hot meal for her. But more than that, he sat down and listened to her stories, her struggles, her memories of a mother who had once worked loyally for a company that discarded her. By dawn, Adrian had made a decision. He announced a new foundation, one that would support families of workers laid off by corporate downsizing. Housing, education, healthcare, essentials no child should be deprived of. And he named it after the little girl's mother. As for the girl, Adrian offered her a home. Not out of pity, but out of respect. She accepted, shyly but gratefully. Years later, people would tell the story of how a powerful man changed overnight. But only Adrian knew the truth, that it wasn't power that changed him. It was a barefoot girl, in the middle of a snowy street, who had given him her only blanket and, with it, reminded him of his humanity. And every winter, when snowflakes began to fall, Adrian would wrap himself in that old, faded blanket, not for warmth, but as a symbol. A reminder that kindness, even the smallest act, holds the power to heal a broken world.